Hello students, in today's class we will be continuing the topic pre-fertilization events, and today we study about the structure of carpel, structure of megasporangium, the process of megasporogenesis and the female gametophyte. We start with the structure of carpel. Carpel is the female reproductive part of the flower. It is divided into three major parts: stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is the uppermost part of the carpel which receives the pollen grain, and style is that elongated portion. Ovary is the bottommost part which is swollen enough and it consists of ovule. Inside the ovule is present embryo sac, and this embryo sac consists of an egg cell and two polar nuclei. That was the structure of pistil or carpel. Now we move on to what are the types of pistil. There are two types of pistil. First one is simple and the other one is compound pistil. Simple pistil consists of a single carpel. Only one carpel it contains. While in case of compound, it consists of two or more than two carpel. Monocarpous is a term given for a single carpel present in the flower. If the flower contains one carpel, it is said to be monocarpous. If they contain two carpels and those carpels are distinct from each other, they are said to be apocarpous. If they contain the carpels which are joined with one another, then they are said to be syncarpous, just like the one shown in the diagram. So pistil is of two types, simple and compound. The simple pistil consists of one carpel, while the compound one consists of two or more than two. If they are present distinctly, separately, they are said to be apocarpous. If they are joined, they are known as syncarpous. Now we move on to the structure present within the ovary. So inside the ovary is present ovule, and these ovules are present in the chambers which is known as locule, as you can see. So in each of the chamber these ovules are present. Now this ovule is attached with the help of, there's a point of attachment. This point of attachment is known as placenta. The area of attachment of ovule is known as placenta. Now we talk about what is septa. The separation here is known as septa. So we studied about three parts: what is locule, what is placenta and what is septum. So locule is that chamber which contains ovule, and placenta is that area through which the ovule is attached. The septa is the separate. We'll talk about the structure of megasporangium or ovule. Here is the diagram made of the structure of anatropous ovule. The ovule consists of the following parts. First part is the funicle. So funicle is that attachment of ovule to that of placenta. The region of attachment of ovule to the placenta is known as funicle. Now, what is hilum? Hilum is that part of the ovule through which the ovule fuses with that of funicle. So through the region of where the ovule fuses with that of funicle is known as hilum. Now we talk about what is micropyle. Micropyle is a small opening where the pollen tube enters, and there is a small opening present at one of the end which is also known as micropylar end. So micropyle is a small opening through which the pollen tube enters. and that end is known as micropylar end. Now, what is this integument? Outer integument and inner integument. These are the protective walls, protective envelopes to protect the internal embryo sac present. Now is the major part we are talking about, the most important part, which is the nucellus. Nucellus is the tissue which encloses the embryo sac. It is that tissue which helps in the development of embryo sac. And the pole opposite to that of micropylar end is known as chalazal end. It lies completely to the opposite pole of micropylar end. So we talked about funicle, which is that part of the ovule through which it is attached with the placenta. Hilum is that part of the ovule through which the ovule is attached with the funicle. Micropyle is a small pore through which the pollen tube enters, and that end is known as micropylar end. The integuments are the outer envelopes which protects the embryo sac. Nucellus is that tissue which helps in the development of embryo sac. Embryo sac is the female gametophyte. It is the female gametophyte about which we will be studying later. Chalazal end is that end which lies opposite to that of micropylar end. Now we move on to the process of megasporogenesis. The process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell by meiosis is known as megasporogenesis. If you remember, we have studied about microsporogenesis when we were studying about the male reproductive part. So this is very similar to it, but the only difference is that here the process is occurring in the female reproductive organ. Now, what is the megaspore mother cell? We have studied about nucellus. It is a tissue present in the inner region of megasporangium or ovule. Inside the nucellus, there is a dense cytoplasm and a central nucleus present, central large nucleus present, and this region is known as megaspore mother cell. This megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis. After meiosis 1, two of the division takes place of the nucleus. It divides into two nuclei, and we get megaspore diet. We get two cells after meiosis 1. After meiosis 2, we get 4 daughter individuals, and they are termed as megaspore tetrad. So we get 4 cells by the end of meiosis from megaspore mother cell, and they are termed as megaspore tetrad. Out of these 4 megaspores, 3 of the megaspores degenerate and only 1 remains functional. Only one of this megaspore remains functional, and it is termed as the female gametophyte or embryo sac. It later on develops into embryo sac. And how does this process of development of embryo sac takes place, we'll be studying about. Till now, we studied that a megaspore mother cell has undergone meiosis and has formed megaspore tetrad, out of which 3 of them degenerates and only 1 megaspore remains functional. Now we move on to how this functional megaspore develops into the female gametophyte. It undergoes the process of mitosis repeatedly. How this happens? See in the diagram here. This is the functional megaspore which has undergone mitosis. And so the nuclei divided into two, which have moved towards the opposite poles. So this stage is known as two nucleate stage. Now, the two nuclei at both of the ends again undergo mitosis and result into four nucleate stage. This one. And again these cells further undergo mitosis and result into an 8 nucleate stage. This is the final 8 nucleate stage, and now it is completely mature enough. It is considered to be mature embryo sac. Now, out of these 8 nuclei, six of them develop the cell wall. What happens? 3 of these nuclei move towards one of the pole and 3 of the nuclei move towards the opposite pole. Only 2 nuclei remain at the center. Amongst these 3 nuclei which have moved towards the opposite poles, 3 nuclei towards the micropylar end and 3 towards the chalazal end. These nuclei develop cell wall, while the 2 nuclei present at the center do not develop cell wall at all. And they are termed to be polar nuclei. They are called as polar nuclei. While the three cells which have been formed over here containing the cell wall are altogether termed as egg apparatus. So this is the egg apparatus lying at the micropylar end, and the egg apparatus consists of two synergids. It consists of two synergids which lie by the sides, and in the center is present the egg cell. While at the chalazal end, the 3 cells are present which are known as antipodal cells. So a mature embryo sac consists of 8 nuclei, and among it, the 3 nuclei are present at one of the pole termed as egg apparatus. They are present at the micropylar end, while the 3 nuclei lie at the chalazal end and they are termed as antipodal cells. 2 polar nuclei lie in the center and they are termed as polar nuclei. So this is a mature female gametophyte containing antipodal cell at the chalazal end, while the egg apparatus at the micropylar end. The egg apparatus consists of synergids and egg cell, and in the center 2 polar nuclei are present. Thank you guys.